Holding Sophie's hand, he waves at the crowd. She holds back her tears as he stands at the podium. He kisses his wife Sophie and she moves into the crowd.
Soon-to-be new Prime Minister of Canada. It takes, once again, about usually 10 days to 2 weeks before the transition finalizes and a new party, a new government takes hold, Prime Minister is sworn in, and the cabinet he has to pick will be sworn in. Let's just watch and listen to this. He seems a little overwhelmed by the moment.
Merci. Merci, merci. Thank you.
He touches his heart.
Thank you, my friends.
His podium reads, "Real change now."
Merci. Merci, mes amis. Thank
friends.
you. Thank you, my friends. Merci. Il y a plus de 100 ans,
more than 100 years ago, a great Prime Minister, Wilfrid Laurier, talked about sunny voices. He knew that politics can be a positive force. And that is the message that Canadians sent today. Canadians chose change, real change.
Sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways. This is what positive politics can do. This is what a positive, hopeful vision and a Platform and a team together can make happen. Canadians from all across this great country sent a clear message tonight. It's time for a change in this country, my friends, a real change.
There are so many people to be thanked tonight. I will be spending lots of time in the coming days thanking them. But I'd like to begin today with my family. I'd like to begin by thanking my family, Sophie, Xavier, Ella Grace, and Adrien. Thank you for allowing me to serve. Thank you, Sophie, for your strength, for your compassion, and for your generosity, your deep generosity.
Sophie blows him a kiss. Justin smiles at his wife. She blows a kiss to the crowd.
And to Xavier, Adrien, and Ella Grace, who are asleep now, but who will be with us tomorrow morning. My children, I have to say, we are embarking on a new adventure together. And I can tell you now that there will be difficult moments as children of a Prime Minister, but Dad will be there for you. I also want to thank all the people who have trusted me since 2008, the people of Papineau. Thank you once again for your support. Thank you for your confidence. I will be, first and foremost, very proud to represent you in the House of Commons.
Mes chers concitoyens de Papineau, vous
Dear
m'aviez
fellow
parlé des
citizens,
enjeux qui sont
you
importants
talked
pour
to
vous.
me about the
Je vous ai
issues that are
entendu
important
et
to you.
cela m'a
I heard
aidé
you,
à
and
devenir
that helped
un
me
meilleur
to
député,
become a better
à
member of
devenir
parliament,
un meilleur chef.
to be a better leader,
Cela va m'aider
and
à
that will
devenir
help
un
me
meilleur
to
Premier
be a
ministre.
better Prime Minister. Thank you.
I also want to specifically thank my good friends, Katie Telford and Gerald Butts. Katie and Jerry are two of the smartest, toughest, hardest working people you will find anywhere. They share with me the conviction that politics doesn't have to be negative and personal to be successful, that you can appeal to the better angels of our nature and you can win while doing it. Tonight, my very good friends, we proved that. I hope it is an inspiration to like-minded people to step up and pitch in, to get involved in the public life of this country, and to know that a positive, optimistic, hopeful vision of public life isn't a naive dream. It can be a powerful force for change. And I also want to thank the incredible volunteers that made tonight happen. Over 80,000 Canadians got involved in the core of this campaign. They knocked on their neighbors' doors. They made phone calls. They sent emails. Hundreds of thousands more supported us actively with their friends and online. They convinced their neighbors and their families. And all of these people had one thing in common. They care deeply about their families, their communities, and their country. They believe that better is possible and that active citizens can play a real part in making it happen. Now, this movement we've built was fueled by these amazing volunteers, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Now, I want to take a moment to speak about my colleagues across the aisle. Tonight, I received phone calls from all of them, including from Mr. Harper. Stephen Harper has served this country for a decade, and as with anyone who has devoted their life to this country, we thank him for his service. Now, over the course of this campaign, I had the opportunity to have a couple of brief personal conversations with him about our families. It reminded me of the extraordinary and unique sacrifices that are made by anybody who serves this country at the highest levels. And I want to remind everyone, as I've said many times over the course of this campaign, Conservatives are not our enemies, they're our neighbors. Leadership is about bringing people of all different perspectives together. Je veux aussi rendre hommage
I also want to pay tribute to Thomas Mulcair, who ran a vigorous campaign.
Il s'est battu jusqu'à la fin.
He fought right up until the end.
Aux militants de son parti,
And to the supporters of his
comprends
party,
votre déception
I
ce
understand your
soir.
disappointment tonight.
Notre parti a vécu
Our
des moments
party
difficiles
has
il y a
had
pas
some
si
difficult
longtemps.
times
Alors, ne
not
vous
so long
découragez
ago,
pas.
so don't be
Notre
discouraged.
pays a besoin de
Our
citoyens
country
engagés
needs
comme vous.
engaged
Notre
citizens
pays
like
en
you. Our
sera plus
country
fort.
will
Merci.
only be stronger as a result. Thank you.
Now, you're all going to hear a lot tonight and tomorrow about me and about our campaign. Lots of people are going to have lots of opinions about why we were successful. Well, for 3 years, we had a very old-fashioned strategy. We met with and talked with as many Canadians as we could. And we listened. We won this election because we listened. We did the hard work of slogging it across the country. We met with hundreds of people in the dead of winter in the Arctic and with thousands of people in Brampton in the middle of this campaign. You built this platform. You built this movement. You told us what you need to be successful. You told us what kind of government you want, and we built the plan to make it happen. In coffee shops and in town halls, in church basements and in gurdwaras, you gathered. You spent time together with us. And you told us about the kind of country you want to build and leave to your children. Vous nous avez fait part de vos défis
You told
dans
us
votre vie de tous
about
les
the
jours.
challenges in your everyday
Vous nous avez
lives.
dit que
You
ça
told
devenait de
us
plus en plus
that it was
difficile
becoming
de
more and more
joindre les deux
difficult
bouts
to make
et de payer
ends
les
meet
factures
and to
à la
pay your
fin du
bills
mois.
at the end of the month.
Vous nous avez dit
You
que
told
vous
us
étiez
that you were
inquiets
concerned
pour votre retraite.
about your retirement.
Vous nous avez dit
You told
que
us
vos communautés
that your
avaient
communities
besoin d'investissement.
needed
Vous
investment.
nous avez dit
You
que les
told
bons
us
emplois se
that good
faisaient de
jobs
plus en plus
were
rares.
becoming more and more rare.
Vous êtes
You
l'inspiration
are the
derrière
inspiration
notre
behind our
programme.
program.
Vous êtes la raison
You are the
pour laquelle
reason
nous avons
why we
travaillé
worked
si
so
fort
hard
pour nous rendre
to
là où nous
reach
sommes
this
ce
point,
soir.
to reach the point where we are tonight.
Et vous serez
And you
toujours au
will
cœur
always
du
be at the
gouvernement
heart
que nous
of the
allons
government
former.
that we will form.
Over the past 3 years, you told us what you're going through. You told us that it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet, let alone to get ahead. You told us you're worried about whether you'll be able to afford a dignified retirement. You told us that your communities need investment. You told us you need a fair shot at better jobs. You are the inspiration for our efforts. You are the reason why we worked so hard to be here tonight, and you will be at the heart of this new government. So, my message to you tonight, my fellow citizens, is simple. Have faith in yourselves and in your country. Know that we can make anything happen if we set our minds to it and work hard. Ce n'est pas moi qui a fait l'histoire ce soir.
I am not the one who made history tonight. You are.
Ne laissez pas les gens vous dire le
Don't
contraire.
let anyone tell you
Je
anything
sais
different.
que je suis ici ce soir
I know that I am
pour
on
une
this
seule
stage
raison,
tonight for one
parce que
reason and
vous
one reason
m'avez
alone,
choisi.
because you
I
put
didn't
me here.
make history tonight. You did. And don't let anyone tell you any differently. I know that I am on stage tonight for one reason and one reason only, because you put me here. And you gave me clear marching orders. You want a government that works as hard as you do, one that is focused every minute of every day on growing the economy, creating jobs, and strengthening the middle class. One that is devoted to helping less fortunate Canadian families work their way into the middle class. You want a Prime Minister who knows Canada is a country strong, not in spite of our differences, but because of them. A PM who never seeks to divide Canadians, but takes every single opportunity to bring us together. You want a Prime Minister who knows that if Canadians are to trust their government needs to trust Canadians. A PM who understands that openness and transparency means better, smarter decisions. You want a Prime Minister that knows that a renewed nation-to-nation relationship with Indigenous peoples that respects rights and honors treaties must be the basis for how we work to close the gap and walk forward together. À mes compatriotes québécois,
To my fellow Quebecers, tonight, together, we have chosen the path of engagement. We have chosen to re-engage in a more unifying and positive form of politics. We have chosen to re-engage in leading a country that reflects our values and our ambitions. We have chosen to trust one another and invest together in our future. In the last 3 years, I have spent a lot of time meeting with you and listening to what you had to say. You told me that you wanted a government that would be open and transparent, a government that trusts its citizens, a government that is there to serve all Canadians. Tonight, that is the commitment I am making to you. I will be the Prime Minister of all Canadians. We will form a government of integrity that respects institutions and which will make collaboration with the provinces the primary principle of all its actions. Dear fellow Quebecers, thank you. Tonight, Canada is becoming the country it was before. Tonight, Quebec is returning to the government of Canada.
Canadians have spoken. You want a government with a vision and an agenda for this country that is positive and ambitious and hopeful. Well, my friends, I promise you tonight that I will lead that government. I will make that vision a reality, I will be that Prime Minister. In this election, 1,792 Canadians stepped up, put their names on ballots and on lawn signs, and ran for office. 338 of them were chosen by you to be their voices in Ottawa, and I pledge tonight that I will listen to all of them. There are 1,000 stories I could share with you about this remarkable campaign, but I want you to think about one in particular. Last week, I met a young mum in St. Catharines, Ontario. She practices the Muslim faith and was wearing a hijab. She made her way through the crowd and handed me her infant daughter. And as she leaned forward, she said something that I will never forget. She said she's voting for us because she wants to make sure that her little girl has the right to make her own choices in life and that her government will protect those rights. To her, I say this: you and your fellow citizens have chosen a new government, a government that believes deeply in the diversity of our country. We know in our bones that Canada was built by people from all corners of the world who worship every faith, who belong to every culture, who speak every language. We believe in our hearts that this country's unique diversity is a blessing bestowed upon us by previous generations of Canadians. Canadians who stared down prejudice and fought discrimination in all its forms. We know that our enviable, inclusive society didn't happen by accident and won't continue without effort. I have always known this. Canadians know it too. If not, I might have spoken earlier this evening and given a very different speech. Have faith in your fellow citizens, my friends. They are kind and generous. They are open-minded and optimistic. And they know in their heart of hearts that a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. Mes amis, nous avons battu
My friends,
la peur avec l'espoir.
we beat fear with
Nous avons
hope.
battu le cynisme
We beat
avec le
cynicism
travail
with
acharné.
hard work.
Nous avons battu la politique
We
négative
beat
avec
negative
une vision
politics
rassembleuse
with a
et
positive
positive.
vision that brings Canadians
My
together.
friends, we beat fear with hope. We beat cynicism with hard work. We beat negative, divisive politics with a positive vision that brings Canadians together. Most of all, we defeated the idea that Canadians should be satisfied with less, that good enough is good enough, and that better just isn't possible. Well, my friends, this is Canada, and in Canada, better is always possible. Thank you. Thank you very much. Merci. Merci.
Well, there you have it.